I thought love was about mutual support. So Ethan used my research results. He also took my business plan, until I lost my legs trying to save him, when I couldn't save the child either. The doctor asked me to call my family to the hospital. The background noise is very loud. A woman with a gentle voice is laughing, Ethan said sarcastically. Sophia's research results are just like that. Her proposal was already thrown into the shredder by him. Now she has no legs. Let's see what dreams of being a strong woman she can still have. A woman should obediently stay by his side and have children at home. When Ethan called, I had just finished a dilation and curettage procedure. I am lying in bed. My stomach is empty. My legs have no strength. His voice is the same as the previous call. Sophia, you were looking for me just now. My eyes are a bit dazed, but I quickly say, I pressed the wrong button just now. Ethan seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. He nodded and said, okay, I've been too busy with work these days. I haven't had the time to see you. Although you've lost your leg, I will take care of you from now on. Don't worry. Once we have children in the future, everything will be all right. Yeah, Ethan still doesn't know I'm pregnant. He urges me every day to have a child for him. I touched my already flat belly. Suddenly, tears welled up. Where are you? I want to find you. Ethan firmly refused me. He said, Emily will accompany me to meet the clients. You don't need to come. Emily has encountered some bad people before. She's a bit shy. Also, your current appearance will scare the clients. It will affect the company's image. The old me would definitely have obeyed Ethan, but that phone call felt like a knife in my heart. I just want to find out if what he said is true or not. He loves me so much. How could he bear to say such hurtful things to me? I couldn't care less about the doctor's advice. I took a taxi directly to the private club. I even put on makeup in the car. Ethan always nags me. He says I only know how to stay in the lab. I look disheveled all day long. I don't pay any attention to my appearance at all. The wheelchair just rolled into the club. The strong smell of alcohol and smoke made my stomach churn. At that moment, Emily suddenly screamed. She suddenly threw herself into Ethan's arms. Pointing at me, her voice trembled. Ethan, who is she? Who let her in? Her voice was shaking, as if she was about to cry. Yet she didn't recognize me. It was as if I were a monster crawling out of hell. No wonder. I am now so thin that I'm just skin and bones. There's no trace of the tech genius I used to be. Everyone immediately looked at me. His eyes were filled with surprise, disdain, and mockery. I'm sitting in a wheelchair. The legs of my pants are empty. I'm being stared at like an outcast. Ethan frowned. He said impatiently, Sophia, what are you doing here now? Didn't I tell you not to come? His tone carried dissatisfaction. Emily lifted her head from his arms. She said softly, Ethan, don't blame Sophia. She might just be missing you too much. A group of men nearby laughed. The way they looked at me was uncomfortable. Someone who once thrived in the academic circle, now in such a miserable situation. Ethan's expression faltered. Sophia, are you doing this on purpose to embarrass me? He got angry. I opened my mouth to explain, but before I could say anything, Emily came over with a drink. Her eyes were filled with provocation. She said, Sophia, since you're here, you should have a drink. Don't spoil the fun for everyone. I instinctively shook my head. I can't drink, Ethan said coldly. Sophia, don't be ungrateful. I looked up, staring at him in disbelief. He doesn't know about my miscarriage. Does he not even know that I've lost my legs? Or is it that he just wants to belittle his wife in front of everyone, so he can feel proud? Emily accidentally bumped into my hand. The wine spilled on my pants leg. The pant leg felt empty. She called out, quickly reaching out to wipe it off. I'm sorry, Sophia. I didn't mean to. Emily, don't wipe it off. She doesn't need pants anyway. Everyone around laughed. Someone joked, Sophia, you academics love to put on airs. Have a drink. Today, we will sign a cooperation agreement with Ethan. It's just having a drink. Isn't it easier than you blocking a truck for Ethan? Ethan's expression is a bit unnatural. He interrupted. All right, you all know her well enough. That's just how she is. Other women would socialize over drinks. She won't do that at all. I don't know what she is so proud of. I tightly gripped the glass. I downed it in one go, but my body, just after the miscarriage, is too weak. I couldn't handle it at all. I felt a wave of discomfort in my stomach. I ended up vomiting. I got my pants dirty. Emily loudly called for the waiter. Come quickly. Ethan frowned. He thought it was too dirty. I heard someone snickering. It was really embarrassing. I felt completely drained. I slumped in the wheelchair. Teardrops kept falling down. The security at the club pushed me out. The cold wind blew. I became slightly more awake. The security guard felt sorry for me. He took me back home. When I got home, I realized the locks had been changed. I took out my phone to call Ethan. I found out he had blocked me. He always does this when he's angry. I couldn't reach my assistant either. I sat on the steps. The wheelchair couldn't go down. It's really ironic. Sophia, you're 25 now. You've produced so many research results, yet now you don't even have a place to live. I waited at the door all night. Ethan never came back. The next day I woke up. I had a fever. I received a call from Ethan. Where are you? Come to the office right now. We have a strategy meeting in half an hour. The data report I got from you last time. No one on my team can understand it. Come and explain it to the partners. I rushed to the office with a high fever. The conference room is already full of people. Ethan is sitting in the main seat. He speaks to Sophia. This data report was done by you. You explain it. I feel everyone is staring at me. My palms are sweating from nervousness. I brace myself and open the file, but I find that the data inside has been tampered with. I lift my head. I say directly, this data is incorrect. Someone has altered it. Emily chuckles. Her tone is sarcastic. Sophia, you're not trying to shirk responsibility, are you? This report was done by you yourself. I clench my fists. I'm sure someone has tampered with it. Ethan furrows his brows. This collaboration is very critical. He turns to Sophia. His tone is serious. Stop making excuses. We can't afford to waste the partner's time. You need to explain the situation immediately. I take a deep breath. I try to calm myself down, but the fever makes my head feel heavy. The partner's representative impatiently tapped the table. Ethan, this is how your company treats its clients. I want to explain, because I'm the only one in the entire company who can handle this data. Ethan stood up. He apologized to the partner. I'm sorry. Let's end today's meeting here. I will take care of this matter. The meeting is over. Ethan pulled me into the storage room. He pressed down on my shoulders and asked, Sophia, what exactly do you want to do? I said painfully, the data has really been tampered with. He said loudly, I took this data directly from your lab. No one else has touched it. Don't you pride yourself on being a genius? How can you not even explain a single piece of data, and yet you think about being a strong woman all day? Is there something wrong with you? With such a dark mindset, you want to ruin the company. My thoughts were suddenly disrupted. Ethan, how could you think that? His strength is growing stronger, although you have a bit more talent than I do. But what does that really mean? Sophia, you're just a woman. Right now, you're still not very mobile. Besides me, no one is willing to take care of you. Your greatest value is to stay by my side. Help me share the burden. Raise the children well. His voice gradually became unclear. I couldn't hear clearly. Love, dreams, dignity. In this moment, all shattered. I'm locked in a room full of clutter. It's so dark around that I can't see anything. The light switch is too high. I can't reach it sitting in a wheelchair. Ethan is outside the door, saying, Sophia, think about it carefully here. I banged on the door hard, shouting and crying, don't lock me in. After a while, Emily spoke up. Sophia, women should not be too assertive. Ethan likes you so much. You should take good care of him, she said with a smile. You're always busy with data and experiments. You don't understand romance at all. You probably don't know. Every time Ethan gets angry with you, he comes running to me. At night, my hands tremble terribly, but I can only cry softly. Ethan knows I'm most afraid of the dark, and I'm also afraid of being in closed spaces. The accident happened in the university laboratory. At that time, I had just calculated the key data. After writing it down, I was cleaning up the lab. Suddenly, the entire laboratory lost power. Outside the window, there were flashes of green light. It looked quite frightening. I hurriedly ran to the door, but I didn't expect the door to be locked. I couldn't find my phone either. I was so anxious that I cried and shouted, calling for help, but no one came to help me. My tears ran dry. I couldn't even call out. I curled up into a ball. I spent the whole night in fear. When my senior brother found me the next day, I had already developed a high fever. He hurriedly took me to the hospital. After I recovered and was discharged, Ethan's team finally figured out that key data. The experimental results were also more complete. At that time, I was really happy for him. Thanks to that project, he made his first pot of gold in entrepreneurship. I don't remember when I passed out. I only remember that the fear from the high fever made me realize one thing before I lost consciousness. All those beautiful moments in the past were fake. I must leave this marriage. When I opened my eyes again, I was already lying on my bed at home. Ethan was holding a bowl of porridge. He said gently, "Why didn't you tell me you had a fever?" Thinking back carefully, only when I am sick and weak will he be so gentle. Perhaps this is when it perfectly aligns with his desire to protect others. He reached out to help me fix my hair. I gently turned my head to avoid it. His hand paused for a moment. Fortunately, I couldn't help but worry about you. I went back to check on you. Otherwise, I really wouldn't know what might happen. What's wrong? Are you angry with me? I stared into his eyes. He said calmly, "Ethan, let's get a divorce." He was stunned for a moment. His expression became very strange, as if he heard something ridiculous. "You want to divorce me, Sophia? Don't joke around." I looked directly into his eyes. "I'm not joking," he said with a serious face. "Sophia, you're like this now, leaving me. Who would want you now?" A sharp pain hit my heart, but I still held on. Ethan's face looked even worse. He suddenly threw off the blanket. He pressed down on me. I was panicking. I pushed him with all my might. "What do you want to do?" But he was too strong. My hands couldn't break free no matter how hard I tried. I shook my head desperately and said no, but he covered my mouth. He forcefully held my shoulders and said, "Sophia, only at times like this do you keep quiet. I want a divorce. Don't dream about it. You are such an unreasonable person." I felt weak all over. Tears kept streaming down. He forcefully lifted my face and said, "Can't you just live a stable life? Rely on your husband. Isn't it good to be a virtuous wife and a good mother?" He said with a cold laugh. "Right, good mother. You need to have my child. That way, you can stay at home with peace of mind." He doesn't know. Our child was gone the day I blocked the truck for him. Ethan locked me in the house. For the sake of divorce, I'm all in. I didn't expect the opportunity to come so quickly. Ethan's client has questions about the key data in the report, but no one on his team can handle it. I spent a month alone in the lab to complete this report. Ethan came to me for the collaboration. He had no choice but to seek my help. My conditions are straightforward. As long as he provides me with the answers to the core data, I will agree to the divorce. Ethan tightly gripped my neck. He said angrily, "Are you so eager to divorce me?" I was struggling to breathe from his grip. I could only tilt my head back to stare at him. I managed to squeeze out a few words with difficulty. "Yes, I don't want to wait another day." He suddenly smiled and said, "Sophia, are you willing to do anything for the divorce now?" He squatted down and looked me in the eye, then asked, "Then how about I have you give me a child first? I'm going to divorce you. Are you willing as well?" I raised my hand and slapped him. This guy is completely unreasonable. He was startled by my reaction. "Stand up." Cold smile. Anyway, I don't expect anything from you anymore. You don't even have legs anymore. What else can you do? The day of the divorce, Emily stayed by Ethan's side the whole time. He stood there looking down at me. He said coldly, "Sophia, have you thought it through? You'll never find a man who loves you more than I do. After divorcing you, I can immediately marry Emily. You can forget about winning me back for the rest of your life." I find it quite amusing. That's truly something to wish for. Emily and I didn't even have a wedding. I took the hit from the truck for him. He held me and said, "We'll have a lavish wedding once I'm better." It's really ridiculous. We're still in the divorce cooling off period. He moved in with Emily. I sat in the corner of the living room in my wheelchair. Emily said with a smile, "Don't be angry, sis. Ethan asked me to help you tidy up your clothes." My lips turned pale. She gently shook the new key. Her tone was cheerful. "Sis, you're too slow at tidying up. It's affecting me and Ethan." She continued, "Yesterday, the property surveillance captured someone lingering at the door. Ethan thought it was a bad person. He didn't expect it was you who couldn't get in." I tightly gripped the armrests of the wheelchair. I looked up and stared at Emily. "This is still my home, but soon it won't be like this. Ethan said this place is going to be turned into a nursery." Because she suddenly held her lower abdomen, she shyly smiled, recalling those few days after you got hurt. "We were always together." My nails dug deep into my palm. "By the way, sis, I threw away all those moldy paper drafts. Anyway, no one cares about a person with limited mobility. These scraps of paper are useless to keep." I rushed over to try to stop her, but I tripped on the broken glass. She stepped on the back of my hand in her high heels. It looked really bad. "Sophia." There were footsteps outside the door. Emily lost her balance and fell. She asked, "Sophia, why did you push me?" "I just wanted to help you clean the house." At that moment, Ethan walked in with the movers. "Ethan, I just wanted to help Sophia tidy up the room." I didn't expect her to. She started crying as she spoke. It seemed like she had suffered a great injustice. Ethan immediately protected her. He said to Sophia, "How could you do this? You know Emily is pregnant now, yet you still laid hands on her." "I didn't push her." I struggled to squeeze out the sentence. My voice is so hoarse that I can barely recognize it as my own. "Do you still dare to lie?" Ethan suddenly shouted loudly. "Go check the surveillance footage. The footage shows me lying on the ground. Grab Emily's high heels." I pushed her down. I cried out in pain. "It's not like that." She stepped on my hand first. "Ethan, you really believe her and not me?" He let out a cold laugh. "Believe you? I think it's because you're physically impaired, psychologically twisted. You're capable of doing anything." Emily showed a triumphant look in her eyes. "Apologize," Ethan said coldly. I gritted my teeth tightly. "I'm not in the wrong. Why should I apologize?" "Sophia, don't push me." His tone was icy and piercing. "If you don't apologize today, you can forget about leaving." The moving company staff murmured quietly. "They say I'm a heartless original partner. With poor health, one still does not understand gratitude." I lay on the ground. I looked very disheveled. Emily spoke softly. "Ethan, don't be angry anymore. Sophia might just be acting on impulse." Ethan replied. "Emily, you don't need to speak for her." Ethan interrupted her. "Sophia, I'll give you one last chance. Apologize." I closed my eyes. I took a deep breath. My voice trembled. "I'm sorry," he said coldly, louder. "I'm sorry." I almost shouted it out. Suddenly, tears streamed down. I hired a caregiver. I formed a team, preparing to start my own business. We hold core technology. At first, progress was smooth, but later, someone accused us of plagiarism. When I received the notice of contract termination from our partner, I was completely stunned. Ethan is dressed in a sharp suit. I said it before. "Sophia, all the achievements you've gained are thanks to the title of Mrs. Ethan. Leave me alone. You think you can still stay in this circle?" I clenched my fists. "Question him. It was you, wasn't it? You accused me of plagiarism. You blacklisted my company. You're the one manipulating everything from behind the scenes, he replied lightly. I just made those partners see your true colors. Then, he said with a cold smile, a woman who can't even stand on her own two legs dares to start a business. Tears welled up in my eyes. Ethan, how can you treat me like this? He bent down and grabbed my chin, forcing me to look up at him. Because I can't stand you leaving me, Sophia. You will always be mine. Even if you're not well, you still have to stay by my side. I pushed him away with all my strength. You think too highly of yourself. I will never go back to you. He stared at me intently. Why can't you be like Emily? Just soften up to me, as long as you stay by my side peacefully. I promise to take care of you for the rest of your life. I felt a chill in my heart. Ethan, do you think that women can only stay at home to bear children for men? He smiled and said, if you perform well, I can also let you learn about some company matters. However, don't think about stealing the spotlight or daydreaming about being a strong woman. She doesn't need to. His cold voice interrupted the other person's thoughts. I suddenly looked up towards the doorway. A group of people was standing there, looking weary from travel, with gloomy expressions. Mentors, senior brothers, and senior sisters. Ethan, they really had a commanding presence. Ethan turned around and saw the mentor and several senior brothers and sisters standing at the door. The mentor forcefully threw a document onto the table. Ethan, this is your company's financial report for the past 3 years. There are some quite interesting data inside. Should I let everyone take a look? Ethan's face suddenly lost all color. The senior sister snorted. She pressed the record button. The voices of Ethan and Emily were clearly heard inside. As long as we ruin Sophia's reputation, her experimental results will belong to us. The senior sister immediately slapped her. This is evidence you and Emily forged to accuse Sophia of plagiarism. Start rewriting easily and naturally. Ethan, if this evidence is made public, how long do you think your company can last? Ethan's complexion turned pale. He was sweating on his forehead. He took a step back. What do you all want? The mentor glared fiercely. He shouted sternly, leave immediately. Ethan stared at me intently. His face was full of defiance. Sophia, how dare you treat me like this? I was just about to speak. The chubby senior brother rushed forward and kicked him. Ethan cried out in pain. He looked quite disheveled. Sophia, the mentor shouted her name, suppressing his anger. Teacher, I moved my lips. My throat was so hoarse that I could barely make a sound. I could feel it. They must be very disappointed in me. The seniors stood by the side. Their expressions were serious. Sophia, you are the most outstanding student in my lab, but now you've made a mess of yourself because of this man. The mentor's anger could no longer be contained. Thinking back to the past, I couldn't help but tremble. I'm sorry, teacher. I just always thought that with love, one would be happy. Happy. The senior sister had always opposed my relationship with Ethan. She let out a cold laugh and gave my forehead a hard flick. Speak, junior sister. Are you awake now? That man isn't worth your sacrifices. He deceived you. He harmed you. Do you understand now? I lowered my head. Silence. A long time passed. The senior brother walked over. He placed a new research proposal in front of me. This is what we rushed out overnight. Your research can still be salvaged. As long as you're willing, we can help you start over. My tears flowed out suddenly, but the mentor coldly interrupted me. Don't say but. As long as I'm here, no one will bully my students. The senior sister hugged me tightly. I took a deep breath. I said to the teacher, senior brother, and senior sister, thank you all. I will regain my strength. I will no longer let you down. The mentor nodded, showing a relieved expression. This is what my student should be like. Remember, your value does not lie in relying on others, but in yourself. I cried and laughed. But now, there is still one important thing. In the laboratory, my senior brothers and sisters are busy. I looked at myself in the mirror. I lowered my head to look at the prosthetic limb. In the past few months, I have been able to stand and walk, although I'm not very steady, but I am still very happy. My senior sister gently tapped my head with the data report. Don't get too proud. In a couple of days, we'll go buy a dress together. But for now, let's look at the data. Your research direction is correct. The results are even better than we expected. The experiment is going very smoothly. The new research project is about to succeed. This is the first time in months that I've felt a sense of achievement. This result is about to catch up with the world's leading level. Several companies want to collaborate with us. We're preparing to go out for a celebration dinner together. I ran into Ethan at the door. It's been months since we last met. He doesn't look like he's doing very well. Since he left me, no one in the team can handle the core technology. I heard that several research companies are planning to terminate contracts with them. My senior sister gossiped about it with me. He was holding flowers, blocking my way. He hasn't said anything yet. My senior sister suddenly shouted at the people on the street. Whose dog is being walked without a leash? Ethan's smile suddenly froze. His expression darkened. Sophia, don't be like this. I heard your experiment has made new progress. I specially came to congratulate you. The thin senior brother took the flowers and casually threw them into the trash can. Not much taste, huh? I couldn't help but laugh. Ethan's face looked bad. He said to me, Sophia, you're just throwing a tantrum. You can't bear to leave me. I felt a wave of discomfort after hearing that. I thought to myself, how could I possibly be reluctant to leave someone who maintains their status through plagiarism and lies? He was momentarily stunned. What did you say, Ethan? Do you dare to say publicly that your proposal was made by me? Do you dare to admit that your research project used my results? Your core data relies entirely on my technology. You and your team are simply incapable. He stared at her with a dark expression. Sophia, how dare you speak to me like that? Why shouldn't I? You think women are naturally meant to obey men. Do you think I should listen to everything you say? Ethan looked at me strangely, until my senior sister pulled me away. The mentor told us. The mentor's wife has spoken. She forbids me from taking you out to eat. She personally prepared big crabs for us. Let's go. We're going to eat. Ethan never contacted me again, but Emily showed up at my doorstep. She shouted at me. She lunged at me like a madwoman. She questioned me about why I was still involved with Ethan. My prosthetic limb was not moving well. I was suddenly pushed to the ground. I grabbed a stone and threw it at her head. Emily's forehead immediately bled profusely. Circling around Ethan, Emily, do you think I would be as brainless as you now? I pushed her away forcefully. She weakly knelt down on the ground. Ethan has feelings for me. He cares about me. This is all your fault. This isn't fair. You never considered how to maintain his self-esteem. Why is he still so obsessed with you? This time, the surveillance recorded the entire incident. Emily was taken away by the police for intentionally harming others. She looked dejected like a homeless puppy. But, Emily, do you really think this is the end? At the Research Project Incubation Conference, I took the stage as the main speaker. The prosthetic limb moves flexibly. I specially wore a long dress. Radiant and stunning. In the audience, Ethan is looking at me, with a forced smile on his face. He said to others, the one on stage is my wife. What? This is considered impressive? She's just a woman who doesn't follow the rules, always showing off outside. I smiled slightly. The introduction is complete. Everyone applauded enthusiastically. Suddenly, all the lights went out. Thank you all for your attention. I smiled and looked at the audience. Then I said I would show everyone something different. Ethan suddenly couldn't smile anymore. His eyes looked a bit flustered. He definitely didn't expect me to add content at this moment. The image on the big screen changed. The audience immediately became restless. Ethan's face suddenly lost all color. What was displayed was the financial data of Ethan Group for the past 3 years. My tone is calm, but every word is as sharp as a knife. There are many surprising figures inside. For example, inflating profits and misappropriating research funds. I paused for a moment, staring straight at Ethan. I added another sentence, and stealing others' achievements. The audience was buzzing with discussion. The voices grew louder. Ethan suddenly stood up. He shouted, his voice trembling, Sophia, don't say such things. This is absolutely not true. I let out a cold smile. I pressed the recording pen. The voices of Ethan and Emily came through clearly. As long as we ruin Sophia's reputation, her experimental results will belong to us. Ethan, this is framing. The audience fell silent. Everyone was staring at Ethan. His face turned from white to green. He was sweating on his forehead. His lips trembled, unable to speak. He rushed over trying to grab me, shouting, "Sophia, we are husband and wife. Let's talk at home." All his collaborators stood up. He left with an ugly expression. It felt like staying a moment longer would implicate me. I interrupted him. "Stop always saying husband and wife. We divorced a long time ago." I looked into his eyes. I spoke every word clearly. "Ethan, I'm not here today for revenge. I just want to prove one thing as a woman. My worth has never needed to be proven by a man who is less than a pitiful worm." Applause erupted from the audience. The mentor and senior students stood in the corner, with looks of satisfaction in their eyes. Ethan hurriedly ran out of the venue. I handed the evidence to the police, but the police didn't catch Ethan. They could only issue a wanted notice to track him down. That day, the project was a success. I happily had a few drinks. On my way home, I was all alone. It was already quite dark. I had just lifted my foot to leave. A blinding car headlight suddenly shone over from the side. An out-of-control truck was speeding towards me. I was frozen in fear. My legs felt like they were rooted to the ground. The psychological trauma from my amputation left me momentarily unresponsive. "Sophia!" A loud shout came from behind. Suddenly, someone pushed me hard. I fell to the ground. I heard the sharp sound of brakes and the noise of a collision. I quickly got up. I saw Ethan lying on the ground. There was blood all around him, just like when I pushed him away earlier. In the driver's seat of the truck was Emily. Her expression was twisted, her eyes filled with hatred. She stared at Sophia. Through gritted teeth, she said, "Sophia, why haven't you disappeared yet?" Ethan struggled to lift his head. His voice was weak. "Sophia, I'm sorry." In the distance, the sound of the ambulance siren is getting closer. His face is as pale as death, yet his eyes are fixed on me. It's as if he uses all his strength to speak. "Sophia, forgive me. I truly know I've done wrong." I bite my lip and remain silent. "The ambulance is almost here. Ethan, you should spend the rest of your life in prison. Don't think death will set you free." His hand trembles as he tries to touch my face. In the end, it still droops down. The paramedics rush over. They put Ethan on the stretcher. I stand there. My whole body is trembling. The police pull Emily out of the car. She looks agitated. Her mouth keeps cursing about something. "Sophia, why did you take him away? Why?" I close my eyes. I take a deep breath. Ethan was imprisoned after being rescued. The police told me. He has always wanted to see me. He shaved his head. His gaze was vacant. His back was also bent. He looked nothing like his former self. As soon as he saw me, his eyes suddenly lit up. He said hoarsely, "Sophia, you came." I stayed silent. I felt quite uncomfortable inside. He forced a smile. His voice was so soft it was almost inaudible. "I was wrong, Sophia. I really know I was wrong. I shouldn't have treated you that way. I shouldn't have deceived you with Emily. I was just afraid you would leave me. You always seemed so smart. It made me feel like I had no presence. Women should take good care of the family, manage the household well. I thought having a child would make things better. Ethan, you are like this now. Maybe the child is coming to collect a debt from you." I covered my stomach. He suddenly froze. The voice changed. "What did you say? The child? What happened?" I ignored him. "I forgot to tell you earlier. After saving you, I thought about it repeatedly. If I could go back to that day, I would definitely pull you in front of me. Let that truck hit you directly." He shouted at me about the child. "Sophia, that is our child." After saying that, I left. The evening breeze gently blew on my face. It felt a bit cool. I looked up at the sky. The stars twinkled. It seemed like they were guiding me. The senior sister waved at me from not far away. The doctor said you are recovering quite well. It's time to buy a pretty dress. Extra. Ethan's perspective. I always felt a man should support a family. A woman should rely on a man. I have believed this idea since I was young. My dad is an old-fashioned man. My mom is a typical housewife. She is busy all day long. She never dares to oppose my dad's decisions. When I was in college, I met Sophia. She is exceptionally smart. She is very opinionated in her work. She is the top student in the lab. At first, I was attracted to her abilities. I even admired her a bit. She always managed to tackle the experimental data that troubled me with ease, while I could only watch quietly from the sidelines. At that time, I felt a bit insecure, but more than that, I liked her. I thought, if I were with her, I might progress more. But over time, I ended up feeling more and more insecure. She is so outstanding. It makes me feel inadequate. Every time I see her focused in the lab, I feel an indescribable pressure. I can't help but think, will she someday feel that I'm not good enough and choose to leave? This worry is making me increasingly anxious. I want to see her show vulnerability in front of me. I want her to understand, no matter how outstanding she is still a woman, and I am the one in control. I stole her research results and signed my name on it. She didn't resist at all, not even a word of complaint. This gives me a twisted sense of satisfaction. It seems she ultimately cannot live without me. Later, she lost her legs to save me. I thought this would make her completely dependent on me. Resting at home, stay safe at home, be a virtuous wife and mother. But she didn't. She still insists on her research ideal. She even started her own business. This makes me both angry and scared. How could she leave me? How could she not rely on me? I increasingly targeted her excessively, and teamed up with Emily, planning to completely ruin her reputation. I thought this would make her give in, and return to being my obedient wife. But I was wrong. The moment she exposed me at the research project launch, only then did I realize how big of a mistake I made. She was no longer the dependent Sophia from before. Now she can completely stand on her own. In comparison, I truly am just a pathetic character who gets by through plagiarism and deceit. Witnessing her being hit by a truck again, I rushed up without hesitation to protect her. At that moment, it felt as if a voice deep within told me, this is what I should be doing. Nowadays, I'm lying on the bed in prison, thinking back to what she said to me before she died. Ethan, you have fallen to this point today. Perhaps that child came to collect a debt from you. We once had a child. If the child were still here, would she have stayed to keep me company? What a pity. It's too late to say anything now.